Okay, let's jump right into what you came here to see. So for one, I'm not going to be doing a benchmark test because of the fact that I am recording this video and it is going to mess with my frame rate a lot more than it probably should because of the bit rate that I've got set for my recordings, you know, which I plan on lowering for future videos just so I can get that higher FPS. But I'm not going to be doing the benchmark because that FPS value is going to be completely incorrect to what it normally is. But the settings we're going to show you today help me get a better frame rate in Warzone, specifically Vonda Park. Now in Vonda Park, I was getting between 60 to 80 frames, sometimes 90, depending on if I was in a building or not. I went from that to getting consistently 90 up to 130 depending on what kind of building I was in. The game's not optimized very well, so I'm hoping that a lot of the settings I'm going to show you both in-game and out of game are going to kind of help you guys get a better frame rate in your Call of Duty Warzone. Now I have not tested these settings on Al Mazrah, and there are a couple of other things that the countless threads and videos I've read and watched suggested that I have not tried yet. This is just what works for me personally. So here are the basic settings on the display. I mean, we're running full screen exclusive. You should always run this just to get that. It makes the gameplay better, honestly. Any of these other ones, I've had some inconsistencies in my frame rate. I've always had it set to full screen exclusive for the most part. Quality, we're gonna fly through this. Fidelity cast set to 100, render resolution set to 100. Filmic SMAA, I have this on because I don't like the way this one makes my game look. It just makes it look terrible. I'm sorry. I would probably get an even higher FPS value if I turned this on. I despise the way it makes my game look. Okay, anti-aliasing set to low. Video memory scale set to 90. Not everybody needs to max this out. For some, it's different. Then here are all of my other settings. Low, 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 high for that distant level of detail. Low, low, low. I keep my bullet impacts on because I don't really see a point in turning them off. But yeah, that's everything there. I'll just leave that on screen for a second. Streaming quality should be low and off. If you got the ability to turn that off, you should turn it off. Always turn this off. Everything here is set to low. Very low, except spot cache. Turning this to ultra will basically eliminate the micro stutters that you might encounter when you're playing this game. And then everything else is set to literally off or low. Over on view, got my FOV maxed out to 120. I tried 110 earlier and got shit on, so I set it right back to 120 and started frying again. Everything else here, you know, is set to default values. We're probably never getting third person Warzone back again, so I don't really care about this. You want the least camera shake possible, so set all of this to least. Next, we're going to go over to the audio settings. That's right, there is an audio setting that will affect your frame rate volume if you are on Steam. Frame rate volume. If you're on Steam, you want to set your voice channel to party only. I don't know why this affects frame rate for people on Steam, but if you set that to party only, you probably will see a massive boost in your frames for you Steam users out there. I've seen almost every single thread, YouTube comment, and YouTube video say set this to party only if you're on Steam. Why it works, I couldn't tell you, man. Next, we're gonna go to the out of game settings. So what you're gonna want to do is go to Documents, Call of Duty, Players. So with the season 3 update, there were duplicate files of every single configuration file in this folder created. Now I used to originally have COD 2020, or I'm sorry, Options 3 COD HQ, Options BR COD HQ, you know, all these used to say HQ. With the season 3 update, it added all of these files. They now say COD 2022. The game is trying to read both sets of files if you've got them in this folder. So what you're gonna wanna do is, for one, take a screenshot of all of your game settings, your audio settings, everything, because you're gonna be deleting your player folder. After you delete your player folder and launch COD again, it'll repopulate this entire folder, this Call of Duty folder, with a brand new players folder and brand new configuration files, everything. It'll basically reset everything here. It'll also reset all your graphics settings, all your audio settings, and so forth. That's why I'm saying you want to take a screenshot of all those settings. But doing this, I mean, the game is no longer trying to read two sets of configuration files and confusing itself. You've only now got this one set, and I'm praying the next season or whatever we're getting does not do the same thing again. What you're going to do next is go over to COD 2022 and open this up. We're going to hit Control F to look for thread. I've already got it filled out. Fine. Next, you're going to set your thread handling count to what half of your total thread count is for your CPU. I have an AMD Ryzen 5 3600 that is a 12 thread processor. Got it set to 6. The original value was set to 4. You can kind of play around with this, but it's highly recommended for this game in particular to get that better frame rate value to set it to half of your total thread count. This game, again, is kind of built weird. Next, we're going to set your video scale to probably kind of whatever you want. I mean, my default is 0.9 because of the fact that I've got my video scale settings set to 90 in game. At least I believe that's what this overall value is. I max it out. And you know, now I've done all this stuff in unison, so I can't say if this with the 0.90 gives you the same frame rate value, or if this is better. But overall, changing both of these settings gave me a massive boost in frame rate. So I mean, you know, you got to kind of play around with it, I guess. But specifically this, make sure you change your renderer worker count to, you know, half of your thread count. So next we're going to go over to our settings. We're going to type in, or going to hit my Windows key and type in GPU. We're going to go to your graphics settings. Now, if you do not see your Call of Duty HQ right here, you're going to want to hit browse and look for it in wherever you've got the game installed. The HQ is going to be under the retail folder in your Call of Duty main folder. Mine's in my local disk. Yeah, you're gonna just want to look for it here, find it, and add it. I believe it's also just labeled as COD too. So if you select COD, it'll just pop up as COD HQ. What you're gonna do here is go to options and set it to high performance. I'm trying to make sure that my game is trying to use more of my GPU. Warzone is a very CPU intensive game for some stupid reason. I do not know why. Also, make sure hardware acceleration is off. This never works well with almost any video game to my knowledge. I've always had this off, so you know. And then finally, the other super weird, bizarre change that we're going to do is, again, find that COD HQ file. Now you can do either or. I mean, I don't really think it truly matters here. We're gonna go actually for the COD launcher file in your Call of Duty folder. You're going to right click on it, go to properties. Now, some of the videos that I've watched have said to have this run as an administrator. If you do this, you need to set it to run as an admin, or you need to set Steam and Battle.net, depending on which one you use to, you know, run COD. You need to set those to run as administrators also to make sure the game doesn't crash. Some comments have said this literally affects nothing, so you may or may not need to run this. You could obviously try it. But the other key thing is you're going to disable full screen optimizations. Again, I'm just running off of suggestions that I've read in videos or comments and watching videos and stuff, but I've also heard that doing this assists with the CPU bottlenecking that this game has. You know, the habit of, it's so stupid. And again, you can also do that for the COD file or folder, or yeah, executable here. I don't really think it matters too much, but I've got them disabled in both. So, and that's pretty much going to be the end of this video. I made this video because there are a lot of guys out there that promise to do like PC optimization and stuff for a lot of people. They have helped a lot of people optimize their Call of Duty, but not everybody can afford these expensive options either, and they just want their game to work right. The goal of this isn't to take anybody out of business, but just to help people like me who aren't in the most financially stable spot right now and can't afford to do PC optimization plans. I wanted to make sure that I could help as many people as I could get their Warzone running on PC if they're running into the same issues that I had, which are, you know, low FPS, CPU bottlenecks, which I still do get a decent amount of those. I will not lie to you. The game is just CPU intensive, unfortunately. But hopefully my video helped you guys out a ton. And if you think that it did, or if it did, let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like on it, sub to the channel for more gaming content. And as always, this has been Jay the Gamer. I'll see you later. Peace.